Jesse Kelly Show, and there's so much we have to cover politically from today. So, of course, we're going to stop and do none of that right now.
Why did my phone fall?
Oh,
ridiculous. I know my phone fell. Oh.
I'm about to go on vacation, and I'm already missing you. I'm already missing doing the show, and so I'm trying to squeeze in as much stuff that I love before I leave. So you want to talk about the Grand Sasso raid? There's the fart sound for you, Chris. You want to talk about the Grand Sasso raid? What is the Grand Sasso raid? What am I talking about? Okay, so I promise we'll get to back to all the Hunter Biden stuff, and blah, 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 blah. We'll get to all the politics, get to some emails, boys and women's sports, all that stuff. But let's talk about one of the cooler rescue missions ever. You just haven't heard of it because the people who did it are evil and horrible. So let's do a little pre-WW2 setup here. Did you know that Hitler viewed Mussolini as pretty much a hero? He looked up to him. See, Chris is surprised about that. Most people are surprised about that. Why are we surprised? Because the Italians in World War II, I was going to call them the little brother. That's honestly, that doesn't even describe how pathetic they were militarily compared to the Germans. So they're both the Axis powers, them and the Japanese, obviously. But we think about Italy, wow, look at these little upstarts. They tried to hang with big brother Germany, but this little Italy couldn't get it done. And that's true once the combat started. But it was Mussolini, not Hitler, who really was pioneering this fascism takeover thing of Europe, or of at least Italy. Hitler was a big fan, and in fact, Mussolini was flat out rude to him early on. Once Mussolini was rising to power, Hitler was very much admiring him, trying to get a meeting, and Mussolini was all, oh gosh, here we go, who is this idiot German? Did you know that? People kind of have those things mixed up, and that's actually going to come into play for our story here. Remember, Hitler was a Mussolini fan first, a fan, like a celebrity. All right, now let's launch into the war a little bit. First of all, let's just deal with the Italian portion of it. The history behind Italy, it's long. It's long. There is no beginning of history. Many people have said that a lot more eloquently than I did. So there's no way I can possibly begin there, or I even have time to do so tonight. Just know they were going through it as much of Europe was at this time. Who are we? What do we want to be? Do we want to be this? Do we want to be that? Eventually, Mussolini and his fascists, they take over Italy. All right, so there's that. Mussolini sees himself as a conqueror, really sold himself as a Roman conqueror. I am not Italian. Yes, I take special pleasure in making fun of them, but that's just because I actually adore them, and so many of my friends are. Italian people they're different, and they're awesome, and their food is really good, and they're very proud. I don't have a single Italian friend who isn't very proud of Italy's history, and you would be too.
I can go up to turn on it. It's okay.
Was part of your nation too. You think you might look back on that every now and then and say, well, that's how Mussolini started. Here was the problem with that for Mussolini. Mussolini, Italy, they didn't have the money to become a military juggernaut. And this is the part of military matters we don't like to discuss very often, because we like to discuss military matters in ways like bravery, courage. They would never quit attitude. And don't get me wrong, those things are wonderful and they're very, very important. You know what's more important? Gigantic bombs you can drop on people. Level. That's important. Planes, battlefields, aircraft, bullets, medical supplies, food. Army, large ones, especially advanced ones, cost a fortune. It is not just now, it has always been one of the most expensive things. Building and maintaining an army, especially while it's in combat. Chris asks how Germany did. Well, understand this about Europe. This is an important thing to understand now and then. 600 or 700 million, right around then. That was Italy's military budget. That was 10% of Germany's military budget. That's the difference in the two nations. And the difference is, Chris, everybody should understand, and I'm no expert on European economies and whatnot, I know a bit about a bit. Germany has always been the economic juggernaut of Europe. They just have a wealth of resources in that nation. They have always been a financial juggernaut. Always. If you wanted to build a big economy and you could pick any European country you wanted, it would be Germany, and second place would not even be close. It would not even be close. You would pick Germany for not just what it is, for its potential, because at its height, Germany can just turn out good services that just really good. Okay. So Mussolini fancies himself a conqueror, except the Italian Navy, Army is poorly equipped, poorly trained, and they suck. Okay, the war kicks off. We're not going to go into everything, but Germany eventually goes into Poland. You know all that. Now, we'll set Italy aside for a moment. Let's talk about the German Luftwaffe. That's the German Air Force, the Luftwaffe. It was headed by, I usually don't give out names, but Goering, Hermann Goering is a name you should know. He was a World War I hero, and Hitler used him to help his own popularity, to help his Nazis gain power. Goering was essentially a celebrity in Germany because of his World War I hero status. Hitler used that to help rise to power in Germany. Goering was put in charge of the Luftwaffe. And the Luftwaffe, yes, very accomplished, of course, dive bomb in Poland, very accomplished in France, but runs into not just a failure, an embarrassing failure in the Battle of Britain. You know the story. Germany decides they're going to invade Britain. They want to bomb Britain to dust. They start sending all these planes over there to accomplish this. And the Royal Air Force, the British Air Force, beats them. Kicks the crap out. And on paper, really shouldn't have, but had some real advantages, radar and other things, and ends up beating them. Okay, so the German Air Force has had some things that didn't go. But they began to experiment with something. It wasn't just us that was experimenting with this concept. What if we dropped troops from planes? Lots of them. What if we started using gliders? We have these planes, we have these gliders. What if we start doing it? Now back to Italy. Italy, as part of their Renaissance, you know, Mussolini's this big emperor. They're going to invade Greece. Shouldn't be a problem, right? I mean, it's friggin' Greece. Not really a difficult nation to conquer, unless, of course, you're the Italian army. Mussolini tries to invade Greece and promptly gets stalemated. To their credit, those Greeks fought like lions. They didn't have near the equipment or anything else, but they fought Italy to a standstill. They really did, and they should be very proud of what they did. So, as they always had to, Germany steps in. Germany steps in and starts really ramping up their aerial combat stuff, dropping troops behind enemy lines, gliders, all this. Right. Now fast forward through all that, because we need to get to this, because we have a lot of politics there. Eventually, the Allies invade Italy. Now, why? Remember, conceptually, we were having a hard time getting into Europe. Hitler had taken it over, the continental, not obviously Britain, but the continental portion of it. He had taken it over, and those daggone Germans, they're known to be engineers for a reason, and they had a great economy, and they had accomplished a lot by this point in time, so they had the manpower and resources to fortify Europe. If you're an allied armies, and all the things that come with it, food, equipment, men, and then you need air bases, you need ports for your ships. How are you getting into Europe? Well, Italy was falsely, very, very, very falsely, in hindsight, viewed as, and I quote, this is not my quote, the soft underbelly of Europe. They, of course, knew that France was fortified and Hitler was ready for them up there. But they said to themselves, hey, I'm sure Italy, with their weak, pathetic army, why don't we just go into Italy and we'll take Europe from underneath. We'll take them from the south. Except that didn't exactly work out totally in that way. All right, I will try to wrap up this history story, then we'll get back to Hunter Biden and more history stuff in a moment. Before I do that, let's save a child tonight from human trafficking. How's that sound? And I want to explain really quickly how this works. Kids get on social media. Maybe your kids. Are your kids on social media in any way? Discord, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. Kids get on social media. They start conversing with people, and they don't know who they're really talking to. And eventually, these children will share a picture they shouldn't, or something like that. And don't do that thing parents do. Never my boy, never my girl. The kids get manipulated into doing these things. The bad guys get a hold of this, and boom, they have blackmail material. Now they're blackmailed for more. Now they're blackmailed to run away from home. I'll tell your parents, hey, do you want me to call your pastor? I'll show him this picture. Soon, this child is in hell. How do these kids escape? How do they get out? Via Servo Project is how they escape. How do these bad guys get busted and sent to prison? Via Servo Project is how that happens too. Support this wonderful organization to save these kids, all right? ASSERVO. Via servoproject.org. They ask for $14 a month from you and me. Via servoproject.org. Hang on.
Missed something? There's a podcast. Get it on demand wherever podcasts are found. Thanks, kid. Think for yourself.
House 650 KFTV. Traveling for the holidays? Pure Talk has you covered because they just added international roaming to over 30 countries. That's right, whether you're making calls from the Vatican or on a beach in the Bahamas, you're covered. From the steps of Buckingham Palace or your villa in Santorini, you can dial away. And here's the best part, there's no rate increase. Pure Talk still saves the average family almost $1,000 a year with plans starting at just $20 a month. And they put you on America's most dependable 5G network, so the coverage is second to none. Stop dragging your feet, switch to Pure Talk, a veteran-owned wireless company with simply the best U.S. customer service team. Now with international roaming to over 30 countries. From your cell phone, dial pound 250 and say the keyword Jesse Kelly to make the switch, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Again, dial pound 250 and say Jesse Kelly to start saving on wireless now.
You have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS? This is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Thousands of stores across the country are pulling brand-name cold and allergy products off the shelves. Why? Because an FDA advisory panel recently determined that a drug they contain, oral phenylephrine, is ineffective as a nasal decongestant. Navage offers a drug-free solution that's fast and highly effective at relieving nasal congestion caused by colds and allergies. Navage uses suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out of the other nostril to help suck out allergens, mucus, and germs. Nasal irrigation works, and Navage makes it quick and easy. But more than anything, it helps you breathe better. Don't waste your time or money on products that are ineffective. Trust drug-free Navage for fast relief to help you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier. Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage. N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
The future depends on teachers who are reinventing the classroom and starting their students on journeys that will change the course of history. Shape the future. Teach. Learn more and receive free support at
Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. Over the past 45 years, we have gained millions of stars for celebrities, dignitaries, and individuals worldwide. For $59, we call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com. You can name a star and give the ultimate Christmas gift. The star name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Visit starregistry.com or call 800-282-3333 to give the brightest gift. That's 800-282-3333.
The future depends on teachers who are reinventing the classroom and starting their students on journeys that will change the course of history. Shape the future. Teach. Learn more and receive free support at teach.org.
I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
It is the Jesse Kelly Show on a Wednesday, reminding you that tomorrow is an Ask Dr. Jesse. I almost called it a Friday, but it's not a Friday, it's Thursday, but I won't be here Friday, and you can ask me anything. All 3 hours tomorrow will be dedicated to your questions. Jesse@JesseKellyShow.com. I swear on my life, it's mostly a political show. We'll get back to Hunter Biden's comments from today. But I'm doing other stuff. We're doing history. We're talking about the Grand Sasso raid, World War II. Anyway, we were told that Italy would be the soft underbelly of Europe. And so the Allies land on Sicily, and that's a hard fight. And then they're landing on the Italian mainland. They're bombing Rome. They start bombing Rome. Mussolini does not politically survive this. Now Mussolini gets on the out. So other Italians step in. Mussolini, we don't like you anymore. Mr. Duce, you are officially under arrest. Now is when we get to the Grand Sasso raid part of it. Okay, so they arrest Mussolini. Also during this time, they sign an armistice. What is the armistice? It's Italy surrendering to the Allies. They essentially arrest Mussolini and put him off to the side, and then Italy comes to us, and they say, hey, our bad, sorry about this whole World War II thing, this didn't work out, we would love to join you guys back. We needed Italy. We needed Italy for many different reasons, but we really needed it, as I just described, because it was an access point into Germany, but into Europe itself. We needed Italy. So we were all too happy to sign this armistice. Woo, let's go. But then we ran into a problem. The problem was the Germans were on to this whole thing. And the Germans started moving in and fortifying Italy as much as they could already. And the Germans, they decided they needed Mussolini back. Remember back to the beginning of this little history segment. This was A, because Hitler wanted Mussolini, a friendly face in charge of Italy, but B, Hitler was a Mussolini fan, not vice versa. Hitler is a Mussolini fan, and the man he looks up to just got arrested. Now this is the real cloak and dagger portion of it. The Italians who have this, they are aware the Germans want it. And what they start doing is they start moving Mussolini to various different places around Italy, which brings us to a man named Otto Skorzeny. You know, I don't give out a lot of names and dates and details, but this is a human being. I would recommend you look him up. Unless you're driving, look up Otto Skorzeny right now. He was known as, quote, the most dangerous man in Europe. What a cool freaking name. He has this huge scar across his face. Oh, you've seen him. I'm sure you've seen him, Chris. He ended up working for Mossad, so you'll love that. But he ended up, what, Chris? Was he a Nazi? You know what, Chris? We'll go over the end details of that in just a minute. But I'll tell you what, I'll get to the Mossad portion of that in a minute. Anyway, Otto Skorzeny, he's in the German army at this time. Looks like a Bond movie villain. Smokes like a chimp.